Hello guys, and welcome back to a new video here on my channel, where today I'm doing a tutorial on how to make an intro in After Effects. So this is my 200 subs special. So yeah, thank you guys so much for 200 subs, it means a lot. Alright, let's get started by creating a text. So for me, I'm just gonna type in tutorial like that, and now you're going to right click. Make sure to align it first. So just click here and then align. Click the second and the fifth one. Now right click and create shapes from text. Now drag that under and make the regular text visible again. Now click on contents, click add group, drag the text into the group. Now you can click on the group and add a stroke. Now change the color. For me it's gonna be 0A0A0A. It's almost a black, but not really. Alright, so make the stroke width 15 or whatever you want. Let's turn off let's turn on transparency for this. So now we have this text. What we're gonna do now is duplicate this group and click on the duplicated group. Now add a repeater, make copies 40, position 0, and then change the position to 1 and 1. Now we have that. So now we have like this little thick outline shadow thing. So once we're done with this, we can now exit out of that, click on the main text once, go to effects and presets, search up gradient and drag the gradient ramp, double click, and let's make a color here. Actually the main color is gonna be a light green, like that, like a lime green. I actually really like how that came out. Right, so you could try to swap colors if you don't like the look. I personally like this look, so I'm gonna keep it that way. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to pre-compose, if I can remember correctly. Yes, pre-compose it, call it whatever you want, lamau. Now add transform from the effects to here and make the skew -3. Now -6. Yeah, -6 is good. Okay, moving on. Now we have this. So you can go back to your project, create a new composition, call this song or whatever you want, but yeah, now we're gonna do the song essentially. Right, I'll be back with the song in a bit. Okay guys, I found the song, so I'm just pasting it in here. Now drag it in here and click L once and open up waveform. Now we have a little waveform here. So now just drag this.
You're crazy, rolling me. Don't wake up the phone, you are gonna wake up in his bed. You ain't getting over him. Getting over him.
yeah, that's good. Now, go to the start of the intro and press this time, the time watch thing. Click the clock. I'm just gonna say clock. Now make it -70. Go to like 2.5 seconds maybe, and add another one for 0. So now it has this build up here. As you can see, it's empty here. So what you're gonna do is highlight this and drag it back until like the song starts. So right here is the next one. So click here to add a keyframe. Go to the end, -70 again. Now go to like maybe here and go -24. So it sounds like that. Alright, so we're done with the main song here. Right, so now it's time to mark the beats. So make sure to click here first to unselect. Because if we're here and add a marker, it just goes on the song and not up here where we want it to be. That makes it so we can see it when we're, you know, oh my god, I'm so bad. Yeah, just click it. So make sure not highlight it. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just super bad at this. What you're gonna do now is click the star on your numpad, which will create a marker. So if I hold shift now and drag it over, it should automatically attach to it, and do that at like every beat or clap. So I'm gonna zoom in a little. Make here, maybe here. And another one here. And there's a clap. So just mark that too. I'll be back once I'm done. Okay, so I'm back. Now I've marked every single beat, so I can listen to it again. Yeah. Now once we have this, we can create a new composition, call this intro comp, and drag the song, and actually we're not done with the text, I just forgot. So in your pre-comped text, you just type in here CC light sweep. Now once you have this, make sure to set the width to 2000 so it covers the whole thing. sweep intensity, drag that 0, make the edge intensity 500 and edge thickness 2.7. So now you're going to click on this Easy Light Sweep title, Control and C, and then delete on your keyboard. Now you can go in here again, click tutorial or the main text that's red, and click paste. Now we have this cool effect. The white edge thingy makes it pop even more. It's really good to use. Right, so now let's continue. We can drag the text in here. Now, when we didn't, like in the comp, when we mark the timeline, it shows up in other compositions, which the composition is in, the song composition is in. So I could easily like sync this or anything like that. Alright, so I'm gonna make this tutorial very quick. Create a new composition called BG, and just hold shift and just drag out a shape, make the size 101 pixels, rotate it 45 degrees, and then align it. Now click this little tool up here, the anchor point, or select anchor point, and just drag it to the middle. Once it has a box around it, just like that, then you can release it. So what we're going to do now is click S on our keyboard once we have selected shape layer 1, which will open up the scale. Now click the time vary stopwatch, or the stopwatch, and lower the scale to 0. Now go to 1 second and make the scale 180. Just make sure it covers the whole picture. I'm gonna make it 200, like that. Now we have this, which looks pretty good, right? Okay, so once we have this, we're going to create a solid. I'm just gonna make this black solid one. Just drag it under the shape layer. Add a gradient ramp to this. Make this look good, like that maybe. So now we have that. What we're going to do now is duplicate the shape layer 1. So we duplicated the shape layer 2. Now select shape layer 2 and select the stroke. Make the color whatever you want. I'm gonna make it green. Maybe, or darker green, a little darker. Now offset it in the timeline, so it looks like that. Now once we have this, we're going to highlight them both, pre-compose them, and call them shapes, for example. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to effects and you're gonna type in drop shadow, and it's under perspective, so just drag that on here, make the opacity 30, the direction 180, and the distance 20. So now we have like a drop shadow on the text, like so. Okay, so now once we have this, we're going to add another effect to the shape's composition, and it's called echo. Now just minus 0.8 maybe. Does that look good? You can also drag it down to quarter for faster like render times. Why is it freaking out? I'm just gonna do that and then turn to quarter. Okay, so that's clearly too fast. maybe -1 would work. Also make the copies 20. That looks good. So once we have this, we can go back to intro comp and drag the BG in there under the text. Now also make this a quarter. So what you're gonna do now is right click the BG, time, enable timer mapping. Now go to the first marker here, hold shift, and add a keyframe. Now just go to all these markers and add keyframes just like this. Right, once you've done that, click on the timer mapping or the timer map to highlight them all. Now press F9 to easy ease them. Now go to value graph, highlight them all. Just drag that knob up and that knob down. Essentially now we have this. Now that's a great timer mapping. So what you're gonna do is drag this down and drag it up just a little bit so it has a nice end. Okay, nice. So we have this now. So what we are going to do is animate the BG and the text. So go to effects and presets, type in CC light wipe, the transition. Just highlight the BG composition and double click. So now we're gonna go to maybe here, for example, add a completion for 100%. Go to maybe here and make it 0. Now we have it. Make sure to drag the intensity down and check reverse transition. And then we have that. So I'm gonna open up here. F9 them both. That one. Now we can highlight them both and click the graph editor here. Make sure to right click, edit speed graph. I can like do this. So that looks pretty good, right? So once you have that, it's time to animate the text as well. So click the text and then click S for scale. Add a stopwatch. Make it 0. Now go to a little after the first beat. Make it 100. Make sure to easy ease the first one. Now hold Alt on your keyboard and click on scale to open up the command menu. Now go here and search. I'm gonna search up bounce text and copy that. Now click here and paste with Control V. Now you can look at this. So I'm gonna move this a little closer. Now that looks good. Right, so now we're going to add like the end transition. So what you're gonna do is you're going to select the rectangle tool, make the fill red and the stroke red as well. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to like a little before the end. Now basically hold shift and drag out this. Now turn it 45 degrees, make sure to center it. Now once we have this, we can click position, start dragging this down, or dragging this up, sorry. So once we have it like here, for example, we're going to add a stopwatch, and then go like here maybe, and then just drag it until it covers the whole screen. Like that. Now we have this. What we're gonna do is we're going to easy ease both of these, and we're going to the stroke like this, so it's fast in the beginning and then slows down over time. So it looks like that. And what we also can do is we can drag that further away for a smoother transition. I'm gonna keep it like that for now. Now make sure to click here and then silhouette alpha. If you don't have the mode thingy unlocked, make sure to click here on toggle switches / modes like that, and just make it silhouette alpha. So essentially it's gonna be alpha, or that's where your video is gonna be. So now to make this look better, we're going to duplicate it and turn the fill white and the stroke white as well. Now we're going to drag that back a little to offset it, and then we have that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to make this normal. Now we have just a white thing. That's way too much. Like maybe drag this under the shape layer 1 so it's just an edge. Yeah, that looks good. So now we basically have all our transitions. Just like that. Now we're going to lock both these layers so we can't select them or anything like that. Just to make sure we don't accidentally move it or something like that. So now what we're going to do, so go back here, new composition, spline, and we're going to click here, click on the fill, make it no fill, make the size 60 pixels again, and select the pen tool. Now click outside the screen here, just drag the pen tool around just like this. Just like that. Now open up the shape layer 1 and click add trim paths. Now open up the trim paths and click both the stopwatches for the start and the end. Now go to maybe 4 or 5 seconds. Just make it 100 and 100. Now highlight the upper or the start ones and just offset that. So now we have a spline just like this. Pretty easy, right? But we're not done yet. We're going to animate it, so make sure to ease all of them, and then go to graph editor and change these bad boys around so it looks cooler or better, just like this. Now we have a spline. So what we're going to do with this spline is we're going to add a drop shadow. I'll have the same settings as for the BG, so 30, opacity 30, direction 180, and distance 20. Now we can turn on transparency mode and we can just watch it. I'm gonna make it full screen, just like that. So now we have that. But to make this look even better, we're gonna duplicate it by using Control D, and we're going to rotate it by 180 degrees, the duplicated one, and we're gonna have this now. Now that looks pretty good. So like I said, this is going to be a pretty basic tutorial. You're basically now going to drag that into the intro comp and just place it somewhere where you want it. I'm gonna have it here. Just like that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to animate this as well. So click time, enable timer mapping. Make sure to hold shift. Just place markers like this. Actually, let me delete that. Just place markers on every beat once again. Just like that. Now you F9 them all. Then you go into value graph, just like this. Now highlight them all and do the same thing. Drag that knob up and that one down. I can watch it through again. That's pretty small difference. Just drag this up. Just like this. Now that looks ugly. Undo ease adjustment. Undo ease adjustment. Yeah, it looks alright. Now you have this. Now that looks pretty good. Now once you have that, what we're going to do is we're going to add another spline. So spline 2. Just like that. Now click the pen tool. Just maybe I'm gonna start here. And just drag out another thing here. Make sure I make it look nice. Just like that now. Just like that now. Create another one here. Just make the spline look good. Like that. Now you're going to do the same thing as before. Add trim paths. Just do it like this. Like maybe 4 seconds. Just make it 100, offset the upper ones. F9 them. Make it. Okay, that's maybe a little too fast. Add a drop shadow, 30, 180, and 20, just like this. Boom. We can also duplicate this and rotate it 180 degrees. Now we have this. Okay, so let's import this to the intro comp. Above the other spline, make it start like here maybe. Here, yeah, here. Here seems good. Now make sure to enable timer mapping. Drag this to the first beat. Then do that, and just continue doing this. Just F9. I'm not happy with that. Enable timer mapping. Just mark every beat again. I gotta offset this a little. So it looks a little better. Just F9. And do the same thing. And that looks good. Alright, so I'm done with this. The splines. It's time for a burst. Burst spline. Make sure to make the screen black again, so uncheck transparency view. Proportional grid. Oh my god, I can't talk. Click the pen tool. Go like here. And put it in the middle. Make sure it really is in the middle. Like that. Now click about here. Shout out to MuFX for teaching me this, by the way. I would never figure it out without him. Great guy. Go sub to him. What you're gonna do now is add a trim paths again. Just make the stopwatches just like that. No, make it like here maybe. Yeah, make the end 70 and make that 100%. Now offset this one, highlight them both and put them closer. Now we have that. So now you click here and make the graph editor so it looks like that. Okay, so now what you're copy this and paste it in the shape here. Open up the stroke, make it to like maybe here, and just make stroke width, add one, and then add another one for zeros. Now looks like that. Now you can F9 them. Just like that. Now once we have this, we can click contents here. Contents, or shape, actually shape 1, and now add a repeater. So go into here, make the copies 15, transform repeater, make the position 0 and the rotation 180 times 5 or 180/5, and that creates this. Okay, now once we have this, what we're going to do is we are going to add a drop shadow for 30, 180 and 20, same thing. Alright, so now we can get rid of the proportional grid because we already know what we're doing. Now Control D to duplicate it and rotate this 17 degrees. Now go and click on the stroke and make that stroke a green maybe. Now we have this. Now that looks pretty good. So go back into intercomp, drag that right over the BG and just select it here, wherever you want. So I'm gonna have it right here so you can see it. Just like that. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into the BG, shapes, shape layer 2. I'm going to Control C this color, go back into the burst spline shape layer 2 and just paste that there. Go back into intro comp and now we have it. Now just duplicate the spline. I'm just gonna add one here, like that, and then like that. Select this, move it to a certain point, just make this auto and then quarter. Also going to add one here. just grab these two. Control, just paste them to put them here. I'm going to delete that and also delete that. Now we have another one here. Let's just duplicate and put it a little in front. Now we have the splines and everything done. Okay guys, a couple of effects. So we're going to make the ghost text thingy that I use in a lot of my intros. So let's start by clicking the text composition here once. So just highlight, Control D. So we have two of them. Now drag this to where you want the beat, or where do you want it to start and end. Now you're going to click S to get scale. Make sure to delete these two. And then click the stopwatch for a normal 100 scale and go to the end and make it 200, so we have like that. Now what we're gonna do now is we're gonna click T for opacity, just add one for 100 and then add one at the end for 0. So now it looks like this. Alright, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to here, rotation, add a rotation, yeah, 0. One here for 0.5. Then just make it like here, make it 1 and get rid of that. So now it should just make it auto and then quarter, play from the beginning, just like that. Just like that. Now what you're going to do is F9 that and F9 that. Highlight them all. Going to the editor here, speed graph. It looks very ugly. No, it doesn't look good. I'm just gonna delete this one. Oh, you can highlight both of them again and just continue doing. That looks good, I guess. I'm also going to add another effect here. We'll get to that later. So what you're going to do now here is, let's do the sync. So create an adjustment layer and then a null object. Drag both of these above song, text, and everything, just under the shape layer. Now once you have them both highlighted, just change them to a color, whatever you want actually. So search up a slider control, drag that onto the null. Now search up transform and drag that onto the adjustment layer. Now hold Alt and click position, scale, and rotation. That will open up all three of these. So now what we're going to do, by the way guys, these expressions will be in the description below. So yeah, just paste them on here. All of these, just paste them in just like that. Now you can see they have an error. So how to fix that error is rename the null1 to null3. That'll get rid of all of them. Now open up effects, slider control, and click the slider. Go to the first beat, zoom in a little bit. Just add a stopwatch for the slider. Go 1, 2, 3 frames ahead and make the slider 1. So now highlight both of them and copy. Zoom out a little. Just paste them. Every beat, just like this. So now if we watch this, now that looks pretty good, but we are not done yet. So what we are going to do now is add a new adjustment layer. Make this whatever color you want. I prefer pink. And now type in glow and just add glow on the adjustment layer, and also type in hue and saturation. So make the glow radius 110, the glow intensity 0.2, and make the master saturation 66. And now click here, T for opacity. Just zoom in here. Add one for 0. Move 3 frames along. And add another one for 100. So now copy. Just paste on paste them on every beat, just like you did with the sync itself. Now I forgot to mention something with the sync that's pretty important. You're going to do this, highlight them all, zoom in, drag them back 3 frames. Now like I said, I forgot to do that with the slider control here, so just highlight them all and do the same thing. Right, now we can play it again. So just play it now. Now we have that. As you can see, it looks pretty good, but we're not exactly done yet. So make sure to unlock both these layers. Drag the song on top. Just highlight everything here. And pre-compose, call this intro. Now go in here, highlight the true sync, the null 3 and adjustment layer 1. I click Control X to cut it. Go back to intro comp. Here we go. Now what you're going to do is you're going to paste it right here. Now click on the intro comp and duplicate that. We're going to do a special effect. Thanks to RK for teaching me this again. I forgot, so he taught it to me again. He's a great intro designer. Definitely go and check him out. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to hold shift, then drag this highlight thing around. Make sure to move it to where you want it to be. I'm just gonna move it to like here maybe. Now what you're gonna do is you're going to add rotation. Just click like that. Now you can or ease them both and just do that. So now once we have this done, we can watch the full intro. I'm actually going to make a little change here when it comes to the rotation. I'm going to make it a little longer, just like that. Maybe not quite as long as that, but highlight them both here and just like that. So yeah, just like that. Feels like we're done here. Now to make the render faster, just go to where just before the intro like starts to do anything. So just before that, and just cut it out. Make the render faster. Now do the same at the end here, and it'll still look the same. Don't worry. So yeah, that's the final product, guys. So once you're done with that, make sure to click File, Export, Add Render Queue. Best settings, lossless. Make the format QuickTime, or whatever you prefer. I prefer QuickTime. Make it RGB plus alpha. That's really important. Since we have alpha here, if we don't select RGB plus alpha, it will just be a black screen. Now name it. I'm just gonna make it tutorial. I cannot spell. Tutorial, just like that, and just save and click render. So it'll render now. That's how fast it's gonna be. Now this is like the regular intro, it's rendering now. Before that, when it went like super fast, that was where we cut it off. So that saves you like a minute or so depending on your PC. I have a pretty good PC, so the render here is going to be pretty fast. So yeah, thank you guys so much once again for 200 subscribers. It really means a lot to me, and yeah, I guess that's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.